users have got like 2 seconds to make a decision. Focus on the internet is really short, and people aren't necessarily going to sit through instructions to learn how to use something. The product should be designed in an intuitive way so that they almost like learn and onboard into the Web3 ecosystem and into the Polkadot ecosystem.
I'm here from Polkadot Insider, and we're in the middle of the C Blockchain Week. And I'm here with Johnathan. He is the CTO of Talisman. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me again.
Yeah. How's the week for you? Is it schedule crazy?
It's not too bad. I'm actually based in Bangkok.
Oh, okay. So you live here?
Yeah. So it's a short commute to come to the conference, and I'm kind of mixing normal working week with some events on today.
I see. So I saw that you were on panels. So like, how was it for you?
It was great. We just had a panel talking about like the multi-chain ecosystem. So there was a good range of projects there. Myself and another wallet. Web3 Auth were there as like an infrastructure provider for like multi-chain wallet infrastructure, as well as a market maker and a couple of other folks. So it was a good panel to have talking about maybe like an important problem to solve.
So actually, we had an interview with Johnathan back in November last year. But can you walk us through Talisman one more time so that the viewers can know what you're doing?
Of course.
Yeah.
I hope people that are kind of in the Polkadot ecosystem or kind of recently joined the Polkadot ecosystem know about Talisman. That's because the idea is for us to be kind of a user-facing project. We've built a couple of products, primarily a browser extension wallet that allows users to kind of onboard into the ecosystem, set up their first Polkadot account or their first Polkadot wallet, and then manage their portfolio via a kind of a rich portfolio view, as well as participate in some of the like common use cases that exist in the ecosystem, like staking, transferring assets between the parachains, using some of the parachain functionality as well. And that's across both our wallet, which is a browser extension and allows you to connect to any dApp, and also our web portfolio kind of portal that services a lot of these staking opportunities.
Oh, amazing. So I heard that, well, Talisman is like a wallet on Polkadot and Ethereum as well.
Yeah.
So what is the strategy for Talisman when you're like up onto ecosystem like that?
Yeah. So as a part of supporting the Polkadot ecosystem, really early on, we realized we really had to support networks that implemented the EVM and like the Ethereum style of application. That's because a lot of the parachains implement the EVM. Kind of early on, there was Moonbeam, A-Star, Akala, all implemented the EVM and allowed folks to write contracts in Solidity, deploy them, and have them be interoperable with a lot of the tools that already existed for the Ethereum ecosystem. But these folks were a part of Polkadot. You can bridge assets to Moonbeam from Polkadot, same with Akala and A-Star. So as a part of providing a rich and like comprehensive and easy user experience for Polkadot, we needed to say, look, let's provide a really seamless kind of tool to access Moonbeam. So you don't necessarily need to like switch wallets to access one of the parachains. You can access every single network that's within the Polkadot ecosystem via Talisman.
So far, there will be like 2 main ecosystem. Is there any other ecosystem that you might, like your teams want to like expand more and reach to?
There's nothing that's planned in like a hard and fast way. I think like most projects, we're probably of the opinion that we should expand into ecosystems that provide some utility to our current cohort of users. So if we find that our users are particularly interested in some like L2s or L3s that we don't support already, then we should consider adding those. And the same goes for things like the Bitcoin ecosystem, although there's like no like hard and fast plans for that. I think we should generally derive kind of these requirements from what our users are asking for.
We're in the April and it's about to be like half a year already. So is there any highlights of Talisman that you might want to share with us? so far?
Yeah,
Yeah.
since November.
Yeah, okay. And maybe at the beginning, since the beginning of the year, up until now, is there anything that you want to share or highlight?
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, we launched the Talisman Quests kind of beta program.
Oh, okay, what is that? Can you explain more?
This is like a place where users can kind of participate in the suite of products that Talisman offers and kind of are incentivized to do so or are rewarded to do so by earning some kind of XP or kind of user points. So currently we have a couple of campaigns kind of within this Quests application. First of all is just referring other folks into the ecosystem. So it's a good tool to kind of grow Polkadot and to grow the usage with this referrals program. And second of all, you can kind of participate in something that we've called wallet mining, which is to say, let's try and incentivize and reward particular actions on chain. So this is things like holding particular assets, staking inside of the Polkadot protocol. These are things that we think we want to incentivize, both for ourselves and for the Polkadot ecosystem. And so users can kind of see which actions kind of being promoted within the Quests application. And then do those and see their XP grow.
So basically, leaning to the users, right? We're gonna have more incentives and rewards in different way for users.
Yeah.
Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah, this is a way for us to kind of encourage the Talisman users and kind of future users of Talisman to perform particular actions within our set of products.
So like the core of Talisman is like heading towards users, right?
I think it's always been there.
Yeah. So the end user would be like the most important factors.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the stack of technologies in Polkadot, you've got like all the esoteric peer-to-peer networking stuff, and the users doesn't need to know about that. And it goes up, and you might have the Polkadot protocol and the parachains.
All the layers there.
And then right before the user, there's the application layer, and that's where we exist. And I guess the job of Talisman is to kind of help bring a lot of the use cases and all the principles that exist kind of further down the stack towards the user and allow them to access this amazing kind of ecosystem that we have.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's true because, for example, for me, I'll be switching from Web 2 to Web 3. Yeah. So I'm not gonna understand everything, right? So the easier the instructions, the better. The more rewards, it will draw me more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't even think of it as instructions though. Like I think
so like no instruction will be better.
Yeah.
Is that what you mentioned?
Yeah. I think this is not just like a Web3 thing, but generally in product design and kind of application design on the internet, users have got like 2 seconds to make a decision. And the attention span of folks on the internet is really short, and people aren't necessarily going to sit through instructions to learn how to use something. The product should be designed in an intuitive way so that they almost like learn and onboard into the Web3 ecosystem and into the Polkadot ecosystem by using Talisman and by using products. They don't necessarily need to read about it. It just becomes apparent that they're using something that's trustless and resilient and useful in whatever functionality they're looking for, kind of through the product. Yeah.
I think that would be in terms of product development, right? So is there any new demands that you guys, like for your team to figure it out during the journey that you're building?
Yeah. To date, there's been a lot of kind of work for us to present Polkadot in a really intuitive way, like I was talking about earlier. Where
so like 2 seconds, the 2 seconds one, right?
Yeah, where very early on in the project we realized that Polkadot's kind of it currently supports like 150 different networks, but it's destined to support upwards of 1,000 like networks or chains or parathreads or however you want to call it. So kind of pushing that complexity onto the user and saying you now need to understand this entire ecosystem to use Talisman wasn't something that was like maybe reasonable or scalable. So we made the decision really early on in Talisman to present like a network agnostic context to the user in our products. So when you use Talisman, you're not necessarily thinking about which chain I'm on. It's all Polkadot, it's all Talisman. And that that was maybe one of the earlier challenges that we've had to overcome. And I think we've done a good job of doing that. And lately, I guess some of the changes further down the stack, where we've seen the concept of agile core time become a bit more relevant.
From Polkadot.
And then,
but it hasn't released yet, right? It hasn't launched.
I think it might be live on Kusama.
Yeah.
But either way, the first kind of core time markets are coming, and that presents maybe like a different challenge to present to the user, because they're no longer using a parachain that has like a 2-year lease. Maybe you
have more time for
to
develop more.
So a different set of applications built on Polkadot would look for support from the application layer and wallets like Talisman, and that's maybe like the next thing for us to look at.
Crazy. That's, I think, a lot of other parachains, they also like are waiting for that as well.
Yeah, it's a really profound change.
So for the last question, what is the upcoming events for Talisman? Is there anything that you want to unveil for the viewers here?
Yeah. The Talisman Quest is going to continue. We're currently in a beta program at the moment, just whilst we kind of test the application in the wild. So we'll look forward to an official release of that later this year. And maybe another thing to mention is a chain flip integration inside of Talisman. So this will allow folks to bridge native Ethereum from Ethereum mainnet to native DOT on the Polkadot relay chain, all within inside of the Talisman product set.
When will that be about? Like, when will that happen?
I've used it on the development branch, so it's just in the final stages of being polished up. Yeah.
I see. So maybe within the year or next
definitely.
Week? Okay. We're waiting for that. Okay. Thank you, Johnathan, for coming today. I hope to see you in the next event.
Yeah.
Probably. Are you coming to GM?
To where?
GM in Vietnam. They're about to have the GM.
I have no plans to.
Okay.
Yeah, you can send me the details.
Maybe another event in Singapore, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. In October or September, I guess.
Yeah, there's DevCon here in Bangkok later this year.
Another one.
So that will be quite a large one. It's a large one for the Ethereum ecosystem, and hopefully Polkadot has a really good presence there too.
Okay. So thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Pleasure.
Cheers.